Hey, Gould here. I'm down here at infamous Gilgo Beach, the area where the 11 bodies have been discovered, the Rex Heuermann case, and now the Dykes case. And you'll see that it's an area at nighttime. Has been a notorious dumping ground for the organized crime figures. Of course, it's away from the New York City. It's only 10 miles from New York City, 10 miles from the population.
Since 2010, the remains of 11 women have turned up in that area, and years have passed before any arrests. And then in July of 2023, police arrested New York architect Rex Heuermann. He's now accused of the murders of 7 women and has pleaded not guilty. Imagine all those families enduring countless holidays without their loved ones, not knowing what happened to them. Let's talk about this. Let's bring in Lieutenant Mike Gould and also welcome in the editor-in-chief of the Long Island Press, Tim Bolger. Good morning to you both. Tim, I'll start with you. You were covering the Gilgo Beach case since the first bodies were discovered. Would you mind taking us back to when the first 4 bodies were found?
Yeah, it was similar conditions as it is today. It was a snowy December. I think we had just had our first snow while they were making the grid surge down there at the beach, and one of our reporters had down there while the search was going on, but it was too soon, so we had to go back the following morning, and we were among the press that were there when then Commissioner Richard Dormer had first confirmed that he suspected that the obvious, what everybody believed, that the 4 sets of remains found so close together were likely the work of a serial killer.
Right, Tim. It's eerie, and things got even eerier, as we know, as time passed. Lieutenant, we loved what you were able to show us when you went to the area, and this is an area you're so familiar with. You served in Nassau County and in New York County. Tell us, what's it like there? What's it like, when you're there on the ground and you're seeing everything firsthand?
Right, Julie. Yeah, so I patrolled that area for 10 years. That barrier island was part of the precinct I was in, as was Rex Heuermann's house where he lived. And he's only about a mile from there as the crow flies. But you used the word eerie. Nighttime, it's eerie. Daytime, it's beautiful. When the sun sets, very little electricity, at least back then. It's very desolate. You can see headlights coming from a mile away. So as I've said, this has been a notorious dumping ground for all kinds of homicides. And this particular, I'm certain there's many, many more. Finding human remains is like finding a needle in a haystack, especially as time goes on. So it's eerie, it's desolate. And as I said, you could sit there, you could park with your headlights off, and you can see a car coming from a mile away. There's only 3 major access points, 3 bridges that go onto this barrier island. So yeah, it's creepy. And it is an ideal place, the proximity to New York City. You don't have to go upstate. You can just drive out to Fire Island and dump a body if that's your proclivity.
Mm-hmm. Right, Lieutenant. We know you're great at what you do in law enforcement, but we were very impressed with the video you took. We're about to hire you as a reporter. That was excellent, seeing you there and just the way you were describing it. It's like, yeah, this makes some sense that bodies would be put there, and so many bodies. It was almost hard to get our heads around this when this news kept breaking, and I want to talk to you, Tim, about this individual named Andrew Dykes, who we understand was arrested in connection with the deaths of a woman and her daughter, remains found on Gilgo Beach in 2011. What bearing do you think this has on the case against Rex Heuermann?
Yeah, that one was, the most recent development in this case, and certainly, I think, took a lot of people by surprise, because I think there's a lot of people out there who believed that all of the remains found along the stretch of the Parkway during the investigation that started 15 years ago there was, the work of Rex Heuermann. And, there were similar at least from a layman's perspective, what you could see that's publicly available, it looked like there was some, a similar MO involved with the attempts to evade capture by, the way he disposed of the bodies in these cases, but then to see that the two of these victims were there's somebody else accused, and it's two victims whose remains were found on opposite ends of the parkway where Heuermann's remains were found, in the middle. It definitely was, I think, unexpected for some people who were just of the mind that, Rex must have been involved in all of them. So it was, I think, a shocking development in the case. And, we're still waiting for him to be extradited from Tampa back to New York to face those charges. So we're, patiently waiting for more information on that development.
Right, Tim. This is helpful insights you're sharing. We wonder if attorney Michael J. Brown, who represents Rex Heuermann, may do something with this. Who knows what kind of doubts may be cast now on the strength of the evidence in the Heuermann case with this other arrest. We'll see. I have a clip, speaking of Michael J. Brown, I have a clip from the courtroom where he's representing his client, Rex Heuermann. This was last year, and this was a moment. Tim, Lieutenant, I know you both will remember this when Rex Heuermann spoke up to the court, said he's not guilty. Take a look.
I know he's extremely frustrated. He has said from day one he is not responsible for these murders. He is, from day one, he wanted his day in court. So, no, he indicated, I expected him to say something lower level, but he obviously wanted to address the court, so he did.
Okay, so Michael J. Brown reacting to what many reacted to in the courtroom with Rex Heuermann, speaking up. Lieutenant, in terms of the strength of the case against Rex Heuermann, would really appreciate your insights, thoughts on this. Do you think that prosecutors have a strong case against him?
Yeah, Julie, certainly for some of them, maybe not all, it's hard to say. And we talk about these human remains being scattered. Scavenger animals move these remains around. So it's very difficult to actually identify the actual site of where a crime may have been committed. But to answer your question, there's a lot of digital evidence. There's a lot of evidence here. And ironically, what makes this area so good for a place to dump bodies, it's also where we train our police dogs. We train cadaver dogs there, so there's a certain irony to this, that because of you could get away from the major population. So it's a great place to train dogs, and therefore it's also a great place to dispose of bodies. I think Rex Heuermann will be found certainly guilty of certain things, but maybe not all. Now, this new case throws a curveball into it, and Michael Brown's an excellent attorney, so he'll leverage this as best he can.
Yeah, well said, Lieutenant. He really is. I tell him whenever he comes on this show, I say the best thing Rex Heuermann has going for him is you, Michael J. Brown. Great insight and analysis from you both. We'll leave it here for now.